Picture this. Elon Musk. Yes, the guy behind Tesla, SpaceX, and basically half the headlines you see, was once a proud co-founder of OpenAI, the same company that gave us ChatGPT. But the surprising part is, today he's one of its loudest critics. Musk doesn't just disagree with OpenAI. He says it betrayed him. In his own words, it became the devil. Think about that for a second. A company that was born out of Musk's vision to keep AI safe for humanity is now being called out by him as demonic, dangerous, secretive, and driven by profit. And it's not just trash talk on Twitter. Musk has gone so far as to sue OpenAI, claiming it abandoned its mission and basically sold its soul to Microsoft. So how does someone go from building a company to declaring war on it? That's the story we're about to unfold, and trust me, it's not just about tech drama. This fight could decide who controls the future of artificial intelligence. Let's rewind to 2015. The tech world was booming, and artificial intelligence was becoming a big thing. Google had just bought DeepMind, one of the most advanced AI labs in the world, and suddenly, the future of AI looked like it might be locked inside the walls of trillion-dollar corporations. Now, Elon Musk wasn't the type to sit back and watch that happen.
The thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon.
So I think we should be cautious with AI, and I think there should be some government oversight because it's a danger to the public. And so when you
I'm really quite close to, I'm very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is exponential.
He'd already been vocal about his fears that AI could one day surpass human intelligence, and not in a good way. We're talking about Elon predicting scenarios where AI could outsmart us, make its own decisions, and in the worst case, pose an existential threat to humanity. So Musk joined forces with Sam Altman, who at the time was running Y Combinator, the world's most influential startup accelerator, and a group of top-tier researchers like Greg Brockman and Ilya Sutskever. Their idea was to create a brand new research lab called OpenAI, and the mission was bold. They weren't just building another company. They promised to make their work open, free, and shared with the world. The whole point was to make sure AI didn't become controlled by just one giant player, but instead would benefit humanity as a whole. Musk put down roughly $45 million of his own money to get things moving. Altman and others pitched in too, raising around $1 billion in commitments. But the key was this: OpenAI wasn't supposed to be about profits. It was set up as a non-profit, focused entirely on the safety and accessibility of AI. If you think about it, it was almost like a tech superhero alliance, brilliant minds uniting to make sure AI stayed safe and in the hands of the people, not just corporations. And Elon Musk was right there at the center of it all. All right. So OpenAI was officially born in late 2015, and the vibe in those early days was almost utopian. Imagine a group of some of the smartest people in the world gathered around a table, united by one mission: to make artificial intelligence safe and available for everyone. The founding team wasn't just Elon Musk and Sam Altman. You had Greg Brockman, who had just left Stripe as their CTO. You had Ilya Sutskever, one of the most respected AI researchers on the planet, who had worked directly with Google's DeepMind. These weren't just tech enthusiasts, they were the avengers of AI research. And their philosophy was radical compared to the rest of Silicon Valley. Instead of keeping discoveries secret, they pledged to publish their findings openly. every line of code, every research breakthrough, shared with the world. The idea was that if AI was going to be powerful enough to change the course of humanity, then no single company should own it. To put it simply, Google and DeepMind were playing chess behind closed doors. OpenAI, they wanted to live stream the game. And the world noticed. The research community loved it. Developers and scientists suddenly had access to tools and breakthroughs they never would have seen otherwise. It wasn't just about AI safety, it was about democratizing the technology. For Elon Musk, this was exactly the kind of counterbalance he wanted. He saw OpenAI as the antidote to tech monopolies. But here's the thing. When you get big money, big egos, and world-changing technology in the same room, that idealism doesn't stay perfect forever, and the seeds of conflict were already quietly being planted. But here's where the story takes a turn. For all the optimism of OpenAI's early days, Elon Musk started feeling restless. He wasn't convinced things were moving fast enough. Remember, at the same time, Google's DeepMind was pushing breakthroughs in AI, things like AlphaGo, which famously defeated the world champion at the ancient game of Go. For Musk, that was a warning sign. If OpenAI didn't keep pace, the very monopoly it was created to fight would end up pulling way ahead. So Musk pushed the team to be more aggressive. He wanted bolder projects, faster timelines, and in some accounts, even suggested he should take over OpenAI's leadership himself. That tells you how high the stakes felt to him. He wasn't just worried about falling behind. He thought humanity's future depended on it. But this is where the clash of philosophies came in. Others at OpenAI, especially Sam Altman and the researchers, leaned more toward caution. They believed AI needed to be developed responsibly, with guardrails. Musk, he believed in moving at rocket speed, literally the same mindset that built Tesla and SpaceX. Behind the scenes, this created serious tension. On one side, you had the researchers who wanted to prioritize safety and open collaboration. On the other hand, you had Musk, the billionaire founder, saying, "We need to go faster or we're doomed." And let's be real, Musk isn't exactly known for patience. When he feels like something isn't working, he either takes control or walks away. With OpenAI, he tried the first option. When that didn't work, well, you can probably guess what came next. By 2018, the tension inside OpenAI had reached its breaking point. Musk's frustrations with the pace of progress and his push to take control had created a rift with the rest of the leadership. Officially, the announcement sounded simple. Elon Musk was stepping down from OpenAI's board to avoid a conflict of interest. The explanation was that Tesla was ramping up its own work on AI for self-driving cars, so staying at OpenAI might look messy. But behind the press releases, the story was a lot more complicated. Insiders say Musk had tried to take over OpenAI, arguing that the organization needed stronger leadership if it was going to stand up against giants like Google. When the board didn't go for it, Musk walked. And here's the thing. When Musk leaves, he doesn't exactly fade into the background. Not only did he step down, but he also cut off most of his funding support. Remember, he was one of the biggest financial backers of OpenAI in those early years. Without him, the organization had to scramble to find new ways to sustain itself. It was a clean break on paper, but emotionally, it was the start of a feud. Musk still believed in the mission, AI for humanity, but he no longer trusted the team carrying it out. And, as we'll see, what OpenAI did next would only convince him that he'd been right to be suspicious. After Musk's exit, OpenAI was left with a problem: money. AI research isn't cheap. You're talking about hiring world-class scientists, buying massive amounts of computing power, and running experiments that can cost millions of dollars each. Without Musk's funding, the nonprofit model suddenly looked unsustainable. So in 2019, OpenAI made a move that shocked a lot of people. They announced the creation of OpenAI LP, a capped profit company. On paper, this meant they were still committed to their original mission, but now investors could actually make money, though supposedly with limits. And then came the game changer, Microsoft. That same year, Microsoft invested a staggering $1 billion into OpenAI. Suddenly, this nonprofit lab that was founded to keep AI out of corporate hands was partnered with one of the biggest corporations on the planet. And the openness? That started to disappear too. Research that had once been freely shared with the world, like early models and open source tools, now came with strings attached. Instead of open papers and free access, you had APIs, paywalls, and closed-door development. For example, when OpenAI built GPT-2, they famously refused to release the full version at first, citing concerns about misuse. That was the first real signal that things had changed. By the time GPT-3 and GPT-4 rolled out, access was tightly controlled. So in just a few years, OpenAI went from this idealistic nonprofit promising openness to a major player in the corporate AI arms race. For Elon Musk, this wasn't just a shift in business model, it was a betrayal of the entire mission.
I don't trust OpenAI. I mean, I started that company as a non-profit open source.
Yes.
The open in OpenAI, I named the company.
Yeah.
OpenAI as an open source, and it is now extremely closed source. And
Elon Musk? He didn't stay quiet. Once OpenAI partnered with Microsoft and shifted away from its original nonprofit roots, Musk unleashed some of his harshest criticism. On Twitter, his favorite megaphone, he blasted the company repeatedly. In one tweet, he wrote, "OpenAI was created as an open-source, nonprofit company to serve as a counterweight to Google. Now it's closed source, maximum profit, effectively controlled by Microsoft. Not what I intended at all." That's not subtle. That's a founder saying the company completely betrayed its mission. And he didn't just stop at words. In early 2023, Musk openly warned that advanced AI, like the systems OpenAI was building, could be one of the biggest risks to humanity if not handled carefully. He accused OpenAI of rushing ahead for profit instead of prioritizing safety. By 2024, things escalated even more. Musk actually filed a lawsuit against OpenAI and Sam Altman, claiming they abandoned the company's founding principles and basically turned it into a profit engine from Microsoft. According to the lawsuit, OpenAI was supposed to be a nonprofit for the public good, but instead, Musk argued, it became a closed-source subsidiary of the largest technology company in the world, Microsoft. The irony here is thick. Musk helped bring OpenAI into the world, but now he's one of its loudest enemies. And the way he sees it, OpenAI isn't just competing with Google anymore, it's competing with the very principles it was founded on.
So, after years of criticizing OpenAI, Musk finally decided to do what he always does when he doesn't like the way something's being run. He built his own. In July 2023, Musk announced the launch of xAI, a new artificial intelligence company with a very different mission. Where OpenAI had gone corporate, Musk said xAI would be about seeking truth. In his words, the goal wasn't to make the most profitable chatbot, but to build an AI that tries to understand the true nature of the universe. And of course, Musk being Musk, xAI didn't launch quietly. Within months, they introduced their first product, a chatbot called Grok, integrated directly into X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Grok was pitched as more rebellious, more unfiltered than ChatGPT, kind of a reflection of Musk's own personality. He even staffed xAI with a hand-picked team of some of the top AI researchers from places like Google's DeepMind and Tesla. The message was clear. This wasn't just a side project. Musk was serious about challenging OpenAI head-on. But there's another layer here. By tying xAI into X, Musk created a feedback loop. His social platform provides data for training AI, and his AI brings new features and tools back into the platform. That's a synergy even OpenAI doesn't quite have. Now, whether xAI can actually compete with the massive lead OpenAI and Microsoft already have, that's still an open question. But one thing's for sure, Musk isn't backing down. In his mind, if OpenAI betrayed its original mission, then xAI is his chance to start fresh and do it the right way. And that brings us to the bigger picture, why this battle between Musk and OpenAI matters far beyond their personal feud. Now, here's the thing. This whole feud between Elon Musk and OpenAI, it's not just billionaire drama. The stakes are way bigger than bruised egos or corporate rivalries. What's really at play here is control over the future of artificial intelligence, the most powerful technology humanity has ever built. Think about it. AI isn't just about chatbots writing poems or making funny memes. It's the backbone of self-driving cars, healthcare diagnostics, global finance, military applications, you name it. Whoever controls the leading AI systems controls a massive piece of our collective future. That's why this fight matters. OpenAI, backed by Microsoft, represents one vision: advanced AI tightly integrated into trillion-dollar corporations, monetized and rolled out at scale. Musk's vision, on the other hand, is that AI should be built transparently, with safety and truth-seeking at its core, even if that's more idealistic than realistic. And this isn't just theory. Researchers and policymakers around the world are warning about the dangers of AI monopolies. A 2023 Stanford AI Index report highlighted how a handful of companies now control the largest models and datasets. That means the decisions of a few executives could ripple across the entire planet. So when Musk calls OpenAI a betrayal, he's tapping into a bigger fear, that AI won't be developed for humanity, but for shareholders. And whether you agree with him or not, the question he raises is crucial. Should this technology be open and accessible, or locked down inside billion-dollar partnerships? Because here's the reality. AI isn't slowing down. Governments, corporations, and entrepreneurs are all racing to build the most powerful systems. And the outcome of this battle between Musk's xAI, OpenAI, and others will shape not just what our apps look like, but how we live, work, and maybe even survive in the decades ahead.
So, at the end of the day, Elon Musk's fallout with OpenAI isn't just some tech soap opera. It's a story about how even the biggest dreams, like building AI to benefit humanity, can get tangled up in money, power, and ego. OpenAI transformed from a scrappy nonprofit into a corporate juggernaut partnered with Microsoft. Musk, who once backed that mission, now calls it a betrayal, and he's fighting back with his own AI company, xAI, to prove there's another way forward. The bigger question, though, is this: who should decide how AI is built and controlled? Should it be billionaires like Musk, corporate giants like Microsoft, or should AI truly belong to everyone? This battle is far from over, and as AI keeps advancing, it's going to affect all of us, whether we're ready or not. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Musk is genuinely trying to protect humanity, or is this just another power grab? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to see where you stand on this. And hey, If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into the future of tech. Because trust me, the AI story is just getting started.